Hello everybody, welcome back to the Too Many Hobbies. We're at Southern Indiana RC Raceway doing some slash oval racing. So we're gonna go in, see how we do. Never done this before, never been to the track before. Hopefully we learn a lot and get better throughout the day. Stay tuned, we'll see what happens. We made our way inside. The track here at Southern Indiana RC Speedway is a carpet track. You can see there's pit area all around the track and a very nice driver's stand when you're up there ready to run. As we started off our day, we started off with just some practice and had a little trouble at the beginning. Had an issue with the servo and some steering, so we had to get that fixed. Once we were able to get that taken care of, started putting some laps together, but we noticed right away, traction roll, big time. So had to do a lot of work. With some help from others at the track, we figured out that with all the body roll, we had to put some preload spacers in the shock springs. That helped keep the roll out of the springs, out of the shocks, and kept the four wheels on the ground. Started to put some laps together, 8.5 second laps. Started to get much better, get some more time, more practice. The class I'm running in was novice, so they can run like a 13.5 brushless motor. I'm running a 12T motor, and they had a lot of other performance things that I'm just not quite up to. They're probably running in the low 6 seconds, and like I said, eventually I started to put together some more laps consistently in the low 8 seconds.
Oh, geez, my bad.
Getting better every time I did it. So great experience. Again, it's what I was there for, is to learn and get better. But you can see starting to get through the corners and really get what I needed. Still had a few traction roll situations, but the big thing I had to do is get that center of gravity lower. So that's what I started to do. I went ahead and pulled out my other set of shocks and put some shims or some spacers on the inside of the shock. You can see here, that's what I'm doing. So all that does is allow the shock to not have its full throw. Using some 80 weight oil in the shocks, again, keeping that shock as stiff as we can. I think that was the name of the game. As I started to talk to people and learn, the setup had to be real stiff so you wouldn't have that traction roll and the body roll that we were seeing in the car early on. So spent a lot of my time putting this together. I got it together not quite ready for my heats, so I didn't get to run the setup in the heat, but get them still in the heat. I ran about a mid 7 second lap, so again, not too bad. Starting to put some laps, a lot better laps together. 7.5 second laps, getting all four of these shocks set up right and ready to go in a quick manner. It was a little tough. I've never had to do this before, so worked through it, but got it done. Just not quite in time for the heat. Here's some video from my qualifier. Again, at this point, doesn't have the good setup on it, the lower setup. Still seeing a lot of traction roll. We've got the spring spacers in there to help reduce that. Starting to do pretty decent. Put some laps together, get a little more consistent, know when to get it on and off the fuel, and how to take the turns. So overall, you continue to learn a whole lot as we went through it. Just races are 4 minutes long, no matter if it's a qualifier, your heats, a main, or the feature. So in this one, I ended up finishing fourth, so not too bad. Put together some good laps. Like I said earlier, I think I got a 7.5 second was my best lap in this in the qualifier, and still had the traction roll issues. That's why I wanted to get the other setup on there to get that chassis lowered, so we could kind of reduce those and keep things on the ground. But overall, again, learning every time we got out on the track. Just the feel for it made things better. So can't complain at all. So we finally got the setup ready to go. I got the shocks on the car, and I had time to put them on. You can see we've got very little swing in movement in the shock. I've got the preload spacers in there on the springs in the front right. Got preload in the front rear, in the left rear, and again, not a lot of movement. And you can see this thing is just sunk down. I'm going to go ahead and put some tape on that tire. That's what I'm looking at doing right there, so that we can again get some kind of just reduce our traction. So again, we aren't getting that traction roll. Whole point is on this carpet, just too much grip, and it was turning the car over. So now it's time for the feature. Just a quick few hot laps, get a feel for everything, and then get lined up and get ready to go. Put you in a starting block, a few seconds once they call you and they get everybody lined out. Once they hit the buzzer, get a few seconds and you're off and running. Right from the start, I felt so much better about the car. Just the handling was so much better. I felt like I'd actually just steer right through and around the corner without much of an issue. You can see first turn, here's the second turn, real nice, no issue at all. But had a little bit of a challenge. Again, next turn, no problem. I come down on the other end here, tried to avoid a wreck and get into another car and get into the wall hard and end up breaking a steering part on the front end, and that ends my feature, which really stunk because I thought I was really doing a good job and I felt comfortable. You can see here, there's where the part broke. Things happen like that, no problem, but too bad. Well guys, we survived our first Oval RC race. Overall, not bad. A lot of challenges, a lot of learning to do. Got my setup a little more tuned, got the car lowered down, quit the body roll, or slowed the body roll tremendously. So did a lot of shock work and tape and some bunch of other setup things. Camber wasn't bad. I kept the camber I had one wheel, I think I had cambered the wrong direction, got that going the other direction. I think there at the end, started putting maybe some 7.1s down, and I'm racing. My car's got a 12T, it's a stock motor. I think those other folks are running a little hotter motor than me. So overall, but not bad. Did crash out in the last, in the feature, or the A-main, the feature there, because of just tried to avoid a wreck and broke a front steering part there. That kind of stuff happens, so that stinks. Because I think, could have put some good laps together, and was getting more comfortable and better at what I was doing. But overall, not bad. I do have to thank a bunch of people: Dwayne, Donald, Nathan, Bob, Chris, Lincoln, Ralph, and a bunch of other people there at the track. A lot of good people, willing to help you, willing to do things for you. Couldn't find a better group. Check those guys out on Facebook. Check, Southern Indiana RC Raceway. Check them out. I'll put a link in the description. They, follow them on Facebook. They race quite a bit, I think Wednesday nights and then Sunday nights and then some Saturdays. They got their schedule on their Facebook. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description. Really cool group of people, a lot of good stuff. I enjoyed it. Long day, a bit of a drive for me, but I couldn't be happier. It was a good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Hit the bell for the notification. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Makes me feel good. So subscribe so you can see more of this content and more of my other content. And hey, remember, whatever your hobby is, I hope you get time to enjoy it. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.